every building has invisible people. The ones who empty the trash cans after everyone goes home, who mop the floors in the dead of night, who clean the bathrooms, vacuum the carpets, and make sure the coffee machine is ready for the morning rush. They move through spaces like ghosts. People walk past them without making eye contact, without saying hello, without even acknowledging they exist. Marcus Williams was one of those invisible people. For 12 years, he'd worked the night shift as a janitor at Meridian Financial Group, a massive investment firm housed in a gleaming glass tower in downtown Chicago. 43 floors of marble lobbies, executive suites, and conference rooms where million-dollar deals were made every single day. Marcus cleaned them all, floor by floor, night after night, from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., 5 days a week. He was 51 years old, lived alone in a studio apartment on the South Side, never married, no kids. His mother had passed 3 years ago, his father before that. He had a sister in Detroit he hadn't spoken to in years. The job was quiet, solitary, and that suited Marcus just fine. He'd worked factory jobs before, construction, security, but those required dealing with people, with bosses breathing down your neck, with coworkers who talked too much. Cleaning was different. Nobody bothered you, nobody even saw you. You did your work, collected your paycheck, went home. Simple, predictable. Until the night of November 3rd, 2019. The night Marcus found the briefcase. It was just after midnight when Marcus wheeled his cleaning cart onto the 38th floor. Executive territory. Corner offices with floor-to-ceiling windows, mahogany desks, leather chairs that cost more than Marcus made in a month. This floor always made him uncomfortable, not because of the wealth, he'd seen enough rich people to be immune to that, but because of the silence. The 38th floor felt different from the rest of the building, colder somehow, like the walls themselves were keeping secrets. Marcus worked his way down the corridor, emptying trash cans, wiping down surfaces. The executives left behind the usual debris, coffee cups, crumpled papers, energy bar wrappers. Sometimes documents they'd meant to shred but forgot about. Marcus never read them, not his business. But when he reached the last office, a massive corner suite belonging to someone named Jay Harrington, VP of Acquisitions, he found something different. A briefcase, expensive leather, combination lock, sitting on top of the trash can, not inside it, on top, like someone had placed it there deliberately. Marcus stared at it. His first instinct was to leave it, probably belonged to someone, they'd come back for it. But something nagged at him. The trash can beneath the briefcase was overflowing. Someone had emptied an entire desk drawer into it, papers, folders, USB drives, and then placed the briefcase on top like a marker, like they wanted it found, or wanted it gone. Marcus looked around. The office was empty. The entire floor was empty. Security cameras were in the hallways, not inside individual offices. He picked up the briefcase, surprisingly light. He shook it gently. Something shifted inside. Papers maybe, or files. He tried the combination lock, locked tight. Marcus stood there for a long moment, the briefcase in his hands, his conscience at war with his curiosity. Technically, he should report this to security. Let them deal with it. That was protocol. But something in his gut told him that if he handed this over to security, it would disappear. And whatever was inside would never see the light of day. He made a decision that would change everything. He took the briefcase home. Marcus didn't sleep that night. He sat at his kitchen table, the briefcase in front of him, a cup of cold coffee beside it, staring at the lock. He wasn't a thief, never had been, but this felt different. This felt like something that needed to be opened. At 7:30 a.m., he called his nephew, a 24-year-old kid named Devin who'd gotten into some trouble with lockpicking in his younger days but had straightened out since. Devin owed Marcus a favor. Several favors, actually. Devin showed up an hour later, took one look at the briefcase and whistled. "Where'd you get this, Unc?" "Don't ask questions. Can you open it?" Devin grinned. "Give me 10 minutes." It took him 7. The lock clicked, the latches popped open. Marcus lifted the lid. Inside were documents, hundreds of pages, financial records, spreadsheets, emails, all organized into labeled folders. and on top, a handwritten note on Meridian Financial letterhead. Marcus picked up the note and read. To whoever finds this, I can't live with this anymore. I've tried going through proper channels. I've tried reporting it internally. They threatened my family, threatened my career, said if I went public, they'd destroy me. So I'm leaving this where someone outside the system might find it. Someone who isn't beholden to them, someone who might actually do something. Inside this briefcase is evidence of systematic fraud at Meridian Financial Group. For the past 8 years, executives have been embezzling client funds, falsifying investment reports, and covering their tracks through shell companies. Over 200 clients, mostly retirees, pension funds, and small businesses, have been defrauded. Millions of dollars, stolen, hidden, gone. I can't stop them, but maybe you can. Please don't let them get away with this. A former employee. Marcus set the note down. His hands were shaking. Devin was reading over his shoulder. Holy shit, Devin breathed. Uncle Marcus, this is. I know what it is. Marcus opened the first folder. Inside were bank statements showing wire transfers from client accounts to offshore entities, emails discussing how to redistribute losses and manage exposure, internal memos instructing employees to falsify quarterly reports. It was all here: names, dates, amounts, a complete paper trail of corporate fraud spanning nearly a decade. And sitting at the center of it all, like a spider in a web, was one name that appeared over and over: James Harrington, VP of Acquisitions, the man whose office Marcus had cleaned the night before. What would you do if you held in your hands evidence of a crime that had ruined hundreds of lives, but exposing it could destroy your own? Marcus was a janitor, a nobody. He had no legal training, no connections, no resources. Going up against a billion-dollar financial firm was suicide. They had lawyers, political connections, the kind of power that could make problems disappear. And Marcus, he had a GED and a mop. If he reported this, they'd bury him, fire him, blacklist him, maybe worse. But if he did nothing, 200 people would never get justice, never get their money back, never know that the company they'd trusted had robbed them blind. Devin put a hand on his shoulder. Unc, you can't take this on by yourself. These people will crush you. I know, Marcus said quietly. So what are you gonna do? Marcus looked at the documents spread across his table, thought about all those people who'd lost everything. Retirees who'd worked their whole lives, small business owners who'd trusted Meridian with their savings. They were invisible too, just like him, people the system didn't see, didn't care about. And for the first time in 12 years of emptying trash cans and mopping floors in silence, Marcus felt like he had a purpose. I'm going to make someone listen, he said. Marcus didn't go to the police. He knew how that would end. One look at his work uniform, and they'd dismiss him as a disgruntled employee trying to cause trouble. He didn't go to the media. Not yet. He needed someone who understood what they were looking at, someone who could verify the documents, someone with credibility. So he went to the one person he thought might help, his former high school teacher, Dr. Alina Chen. Dr. Chen was 72 now, retired from teaching. But before that, she'd been a forensic accountant for the FBI. She'd testified in fraud cases, brought down corrupt executives. She knew this world. Marcus showed up at her door on a Sunday morning, the briefcase under his arm. Marcus Williams, she said, surprised. I haven't seen you in 30 years. I know, Dr. Chen. I'm sorry to bother you, but I need your help. He showed her the documents, explained where he'd found them, told her everything. Dr. Chen spent 6 hours going through the files. She didn't speak, didn't ask questions, just read, made notes, cross-referenced dates and names. Finally, she looked up at Marcus. This is real, she said. This is one of the largest corporate fraud schemes I've ever seen. If this goes public, Meridian Financial will collapse, executives will go to prison, and every client listed here, over 200 of them, will have grounds to sue for restitution. Marcus nodded. So what do we do? Dr. Chen leaned back in her chair. We need to be smart about this. If we go to the wrong people, this gets buried. We need a federal prosecutor who isn't in Meridian's pocket. We need journalists who can't be bought. And we need legal protection for you. Protection. Marcus, the moment this goes public, Meridian will come after you. They'll accuse you of theft, of breaking into executive offices, of fabricating evidence. You need a whistleblower attorney, someone who can shield you from retaliation. I can't afford an attorney. Dr. Chen smiled. I know someone who will do it pro bono, if the case is strong enough, and trust me, this case is strong enough. It took 4 months to build the case, 4 months of secret meetings, of lawyers poring over documents, of federal investigators verifying every piece of evidence, of journalists from the Chicago Tribune cross-referencing the claims. And on March 17, 2020, the story broke. Meridian Financial executives accused of $47 million fraud scheme. The headline was everywhere, front page of every major newspaper, top story on every news channel. The FBI raided Meridian's offices, froze assets, arrested 11 executives, including James Harrington. The evidence was irrefutable. The documents Marcus had found told the whole story: wire transfers, falsified reports, internal emails discussing the cover-up. It was all there. Within a week, Meridian Financial collapsed. Stock price plummeted. Clients fled. The board of directors resigned. The company filed for bankruptcy. And the 200 defrauded clients, the invisible people who'd lost everything, finally had a path to justice. But justice came at a price. Marcus was fired immediately. Meridian claimed he'd violated company policy by removing property from the premises. They threatened to sue him for theft, to press criminal charges. His apartment was broken into, twice. Nothing stolen, just a message, "We know where you live." Anonymous phone calls, death threats, letters telling him to drop the case or face consequences. Marcus didn't sleep for weeks, couldn't eat, lost 20 pounds. His hands shook constantly. He started looking over his shoulder everywhere he went. Devin moved in with him, refused to leave him alone. "You did the right thing, Unc. Don't let them break you." But they were breaking him, slowly, methodically. The worst part wasn't the threats, it was the silence. Marcus had spent 12 years being invisible, and now, suddenly, he was the most visible person in the world. His face was on the news, his name in the papers. People recognized him on the street. Some called him a hero, others called him a thief, a troublemaker, a fraud. The pressure was unbearable. Until the letters started arriving. The first letter came from a woman named Dorothy Ramirez, 78 years old, retired nurse. She'd invested her entire pension with Meridian, lost $340,000, had been living on Social Security ever since. "Dear Mr. Williams, I don't know if you'll ever read this, but I wanted to say thank you. For 11 years, I thought I was stupid, thought I'd made a terrible mistake trusting those people with my money. I blamed myself every single day. Now I know it wasn't my fault. They lied to me. They stole from me. And because of you, the truth is finally out. You gave me back my dignity. That's worth more than any amount of money. Thank you. Dorothy." The second letter came from a small business owner in Indiana, then a third from a retired teacher in Michigan, then dozens more, hundreds. All from the 200 people who'd been defrauded, all saying the same thing. Thank you for seeing us, for fighting for us, for refusing to stay silent. Marcus read every single letter, and slowly the weight lifted. The fear didn't disappear, the threats didn't stop, but he remembered why he'd done this. Not for recognition, not for money, but because invisible people deserve to be seen. The trial lasted 8 months. Federal prosecutors brought charges against 14 Meridian executives. Marcus testified. So did Dr. Chen. So did dozens of the defrauded clients. The defense tried to discredit Marcus, called him a janitor with no financial expertise, suggested he'd fabricated the documents, painted him as a disgruntled employee seeking revenge. But the evidence spoke for itself. Every transaction, every email, every falsified report, it was all verified, all real. On November 12, 2020, the jury returned a verdict. Guilty on all counts. James Harrington received 15 years in federal prison. Other executives got sentences ranging from 3 to 12 years. Meridian's remaining assets were liquidated. The money was distributed to the victims. Dorothy Ramirez got her $340,000 back, plus interest. So did the other 199 clients. Not all of them recovered everything they'd lost, but they got justice. They got acknowledgement. They got proof that they'd been wronged. And Marcus Williams, the janitor no one had ever noticed, became the man who'd brought down an empire. Marcus never went back to cleaning. Couldn't. The job had been his identity for 12 years, but after everything that happened, he couldn't go back to being invisible. A law firm specializing in whistleblower cases offered him a job, investigator. They wanted someone who understood how to find evidence in places no one thought to look. Someone who moved through spaces unnoticed. Marcus accepted. He was good at it, really good. Over the next 3 years, he helped uncover fraud at 2 other companies, saved hundreds more people from being scammed. But he never forgot the 200, the invisible victims whose lives had been turned upside down by greed. Every year, on March 17th, the anniversary of the story breaking, Marcus attended a reunion. All 200 of the defrauded clients gathered in Chicago. They shared meals, told stories, celebrated their resilience. And they honored the janitor, who'd seen what everyone else overlooked. At the 5th anniversary, Dorothy Ramirez stood to give a speech. She was 83 now, still sharp, still fierce. "We were invisible," she said, her voice carrying across the room. "The system didn't see us, didn't care about us. We were just numbers on a spreadsheet, losses that could be hidden, victims that could be ignored." She looked at Marcus, sitting in the back row, trying to stay out of the spotlight. "But one man saw us, one man cared, and because of him, we're not invisible anymore." The room erupted in applause. Marcus felt tears sting his eyes. He stood, nodded, couldn't speak. Because he understood something now that he hadn't before. He'd been invisible too, for 12 years, moving through spaces unnoticed, unacknowledged, unseen. But invisibility had given him something powerful, perspective, the ability to see what others missed, to notice the briefcase on top of the trash, to understand that sometimes the most important evidence is the thing everyone else walks past without a second glance. What if Marcus had left the briefcase where he found it? What if he'd reported it to security and let the system handle it? What if he'd been too afraid to act? 200 people would still be living with the lie, still blaming themselves, still wondering what they'd done wrong. And 14 criminals would still be free. But Marcus made a different choice. He chose courage over comfort, justice over silence. He chose to see people who'd been made invisible by greed and indifference. And in doing so, he became visible himself. The briefcase is now housed in the Museum of American Finance in New York City. Beside it, a plaque tells the story of Marcus Williams, the janitor who found evidence in the trash and refused to throw it away. Every day, thousands of people walk past it, read the story, marvel at the audacity of corporate fraud and the courage of one ordinary man. But the real legacy isn't in a museum. It's in the 200 lives that were restored, the retirement funds that were recovered, the dignity that was returned. And it's in the reminder that heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they wear janitorial uniforms. Sometimes they push cleaning carts. Sometimes they're the people no one notices. Until the moment they refuse to stay silent. Marcus Williams saw what everyone else overlooked. And because of that, 200 invisible people became visible again. One briefcase, one choice, 200 lives changed forever.